Is everyone happy after some technical difficulties?
Speaking of technical difficulties, the controller's not working again.
It is time. We are on.
It's the time.
Please, God, let this be working. It appears to be working. So we're now like 3 or 4 updates behind on the emulator, and I am terrified to update it because I don't want to break anything.
If we break everything, this is gonna be bad.
It crashes enough.
It's one of those things where you realize very, 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 very quickly that this was a game. In fact, a lot of games from this period were designed more or less, in all honesty, to have a very brief lifespan because they were obsessed with making things, console specific. And they spent inordinate amounts of money just narrowly focusing and forcing these things into consoles. And then when the console died, they were like, who gives a fuck? And so all of these things are preserved like shit posts in the wind. I'm not going to say like tears in the rain because it's not beautiful. Many of these things will die the death they deserve and then be somewhat lost to the martyrdom of memory, where people will pick out like Wagner, really. They will pick out the 5 minutes they can remember of this game and say how great it was. But like Wagner, they forget the other 55 hours in between. The 55 hours in between of just noise. Endless noise.
All right. Water break. God, you're starting us off early.
Well, you had to show up to work sick, and then I'm always overworked as always. We're always a mess here, so thank you for joining us on Monday.
Yes, and we are doing the Screaming Mantis boss fight.
Screaming Mantis, which is really in many ways a Screaming Mantis is, I don't know, that's a really odd thing to put together. I've never heard of like the crying of the mantises. I've never heard of that in like no, I've never really heard of that ever. Like the crying of the mantises, Clarice. It doesn't go anywhere, does it?
No, not particularly.
No. It just kind of fades. It's one of those things where when it comes down to Hideo and Kojima, you have to ask yourself, like, at what point in any of these meetings do you think that someone said, that sounds like a great idea, but we're making a video game? Like, it sounds like a great idea, when they present their 85-page script, that is like 4 phone books.
Yeah.
And they're going, this is the intro. Why? Brain explode.
Yeah, I have to apologize to anybody for the coughing. I'm getting over being sick all weekend. So I feel good, but it's still coming out of my lungs, so.
Quit complaining. No one wants to hear about sickness. No, I'm joking. We all hope you get better.
All right.
Unlike this game, which will not.
Oh, no.
If you think Depp sounds sick, remember Kojima made this on purpose and then saw the final product and clapped. So here's a few questions I have. You have to rely on your friends to push back on occasion and tell you like when things are really dumb.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll sit back and I'll think about little things like, man, I wish I had more pushback on this or that because I wouldn't have made some mistakes in various, projects and things I was doing, obviously.
Yeah.
But then I see Kojima, and I realize Kojima's process is more or less the equivalent, I think, firmly. I think it is firmly the equivalent of somebody bumbling in and saying, I'm going to go work on this and I'll get back with you. And then 3 years later coming out with this and saying it's done and the budget's spent. And you're like, well, I guess I have to release this now.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think it's kind of bad in a workplace where they put old, in your name, on your name.
Yeah,
tag.
yeah.
It seems to be kind of judgmental.
If my name tag at work said old deputy, I would not be happy.
I don't think so. Like, it'd be like nervous Tex or something like that. That also
Yeah.
doesn't sound good. It sounds judgmental. Also, Meryl is animated like I had to animate it. That's what it would look like if I was doing the rigging or animation for this at all in any capacity. That's what it would look like.
I'm trying to remember. There's some way to make her dolls appear, and then you attack the dolls.
Maybe a spunk, or a
yeah, nervous Texas jitter animations.
Good old Mr. Jitters making himself an animated movie with friends.
Do I kill enough of these people? I don't think so.
Can I point out something that
What's up?
If you had a soldier, like a super soldier who could like float, I don't know, what'd you say, like 20, 30 feet in the air, right?
Yeah.
20, 30 feet in the air. If they could float 20, 30 feet in the air, why would their military application be like bothering people indoors? You know what I mean? Like, tactic-wise,
Yeah.
it seems like a waste of somebody's unique skill set.
Alright, I'm missing something here, clearly. And it's not the quiver of laws. I know that. Yeah, I'm still a little bit.
Let's try a few other things.
Brother,
it's been too long.
God, I really wish that... Okay, so on one hand, Liquid gets, like, way too much screen time as it is.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, at least it's fun, right? Like,
There's another puppet behind the hologlobe, says Silicon Soul. But you could also buy Sleep Nagant.
yeah, that's what I just did.
But they said that
Behind the
there's another one
hologlobe.
behind the hologlobe, a knife fight city adventure.
I'm not seeing it. Alright, and so I bought Sleepy Nagant.
Sleepy Nagant sounds like a winner.
Yeah, so that I can knock Meryl out with horse tranquilizer. And that surely's not going to have any follow-on effects for her health.
You know, I frequently tell myself it's very important to have a nap against my
Against your will?
ability. Yeah, just ability to say no. It's one of those things.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, sometimes you want to have the long sleep.
Yeah.
As you know, very good to just have someone boost you with ketamine with a bolt-action rifle.
From 100 yards away.
Yeah, seems great. Well, I'm sure Meryl's not gonna regret that.
Yeah.
You know, just having herself a nappy poo.
Ah, okay, so it keeps regenerating her fucking health.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's ketamine resistant because of the whatever it's called.
It's because of the deagle bullets hanging from her earlobes.
Ah, yes, that would be a Kojima. That would be a.
That's a Kojima answer right there, yeah.
That is. He'd be like, well, if she already has bullets on her earlobes, so you can't shoot her in the face. It'd be like, what?
Alright, so I don't think it's smoke.
What other grenades you got?
There's another puppet behind the hologlobe. But there... You mean the hologlobe itself? Or, like, the stand?
That's a good question.
If it's behind the stand, then...
People are asking if we have any plans to play Kojima Walking Simulator.
You know, not at this time. I haven't touched that game before. But
I saw someone play it. I walked in at one point, and I didn't know what in the cinnamon toast fuck they were playing. I just saw pieces of nonsense. I love how they play the Command and Conquer like scream. That's really important.
yeah.
Puppet to the left of Meryl behind the stand. That's what Silicon Soul says.
Where?
Yeah, I don't see it. I'm sorry, but this Kojima, as a boss battle, this is just... It's not only, like, not pressing, it's not forcing you into doing anything. And another directly behind her. Wait, are they referring to these people as the puppets? Because, Oh, no worry about cutscenes. We're just walking around with a belt-fed machine gun. As you do.
Yeah, well, it is my favorite application of violence in this game, because it's relatively fast.
Relatively. Yeah, that's the Command and Conquer. I've been set on fire with a flamethrower and or stepped into Tiberium Scream. I know it very, very well. It's a really good scream. We're just hanging out now, I guess.
There's some way to trigger that little, like, physical marionettes appear under those two arms that are manipulating the marionette strings. And then I'm able to shoot those, and that's what ends the boss battle. But I don't remember how to trigger that. You haven't missed any cutscenes. We're still in this boss battle.
Yep, we're in this dynamic boss battle.
Oh yeah, it's super
dynamic. Oh,
super going well.
This is the most sophisticated writing Kojima has done for a woman ever. All right.
Oh, it wasn't Quiver of Law.
What about Narc? Yeah, just have some sleepy time.
No.
Yeah, they just stand there and do that. They're kind of weird. They're just kind of just hanging there, you know. Having a good time.
Having a good time. Having a good time. How many rounds does she have for that deagle? I haven't seen her reload.
No, you don't need to in a movie.
I'm calling hers a deagle because she treats it like one.
I have a Desert Eagle.
I know.
own one, and I'm gonna tell you this much: like, reloading those is not graceful. It feels like reloading a rifle. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. So it's quit dying. So sorry, I don't mean that. For those of you out there in chat, we believe I'm pressing forward even when slightly ill. As far as it goes with Meryl there, she's just having like this I guess is like an interpretive dance at this point, right? Just having a, you know what? I think this sequence here should definitely make our new intro as we go on and add sequences to it. This sequence here kind of, oh, look at that. Meryl just shot a bullet.
Well, hold on, I'm reading, because Confessions of a Ladder Maker is trying to tell me the 69-step process to do this. Yeah, there's 2 dolls, a red doll, but there's no doll. They're not there. Because I remember that part. She's got the little marionettes that she's like, ooh, I'm pulling the strings of power. And
I pulled the strings!
Yeah, and you shoot the dolls. One of them is her doll, and then you shake her doll. You know,
sounds like something I would come up with while just baked out of my gourd. Like, what if there was a bad guy who literally pulled the strings on people? Like, you saw the strings and they pulled them.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what this is.
This is so dumb. All right. Uh-oh, you gotta get her. She's clever. They're swinging her around like a dummy. That'll slow her down. Up. There this is like a DM making somebody get up who obviously should be dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, you don't defeat him. He's still tough. Still tough. Got him.
Come on.
Oh, you need to cut above her with a knife to cut the strings.
Oh.
Get it?
She might be dead.
Literally. No, she's not. She's having a CP. Hamster rest is what she's dead now. How dare you? That's not proven at all. She's having a sippy simp, and it's just she had a nap. Sometimes you have a combat nap.
Sometimes, you know, life just gets you down. You gotta lay face down on the floor about it.
Yeah. No, I was talking with a friend of mine, and they couldn't remember what happened, you know, in the Star Trek universe.
Alright, so that's a stab.
After he, you know, retires.
Oh.
Like, what happens to
that?
Picard?
But he becomes an ambassador, doesn't he?
He does a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of stuff he does, but I said, yeah, you know, he retired back to his vineyard. My friend said, you know, oh yeah, he made that wine, right? And I said, no, he got into rum. And my friend goes, what? And I said, yeah, it's called Picardy.
Oh God.
Its motto is tilted. Well, you shot Meryl, now what?
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, Meryl decided to lay down rather than cooperate with the cutscene any longer.
Which, more power to her. If I could just opt out of this, I would.
You know, when you really think about it, life is about just laying down and saying no some days. Is the game broken? I don't know. I think we're just hanging here in Kojima's world.
Yeah, the game might be broken, actually. Just having one of those Mosen Nagant naps, like all the Germans.
Yeah, like just yeah, the other guy on the ground strings. Oh yeah, there's that guy with the you know what? Just go around with a knife and cut above everyone's head. Just start doing that. See what happens. Take out that's stun knife. That's not.
It's the only knife I got, and
Oh
it's
God.
red. That means I'm using the lethal edge.
The lethal edge of the knife.
Uh-huh.
Try Picardi, 5 lights moonshine. See, look.
Hey, jackass, wake up.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Did he have a stroke?
I don't know.
This may be bugged. This legitimately may be bugged.
We may have broken this.
Okay,
Yeah.
have a good one, Tigress. Yeah, as opposed to the non-lethal edge. Alright, Ladder Maker, what do you got for me?
Okay, so, yeah. Otacon has malfunctioned. More.
I do have RPCS3. That's what we're playing this on.
Oh, yeah. But if you did, you might have to change X-Float from loose.
Oh no. I have to fuck with settings?
Oh dear.
Okay. Prepare to break this shit.
Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. Is all we need to do is this sort of, yeah, just lift the hood of this, which has been absolutely stable. To a T. This thing, it's a Metal Car, the game of snack. Yeah.
Alright, here we go.
Alright, just touch some buttons.
Yeah.
Just go to the standby screen. Just go to that standby screen and just click it over.
Yeah, we'll be
deal.
right back, guys.
And we'll What's that mean?
That's a lot of red. There's a lot of unknown and could not extrapolate in that log
Don't you
file.
worry. Don't worry, dude. Log is short for
Let it all
long.
go.
Let it all go. Yeah, let it all go. That's what a log file is.
Yeah.
When's the last time a log file's done any work, huh? Like,
Log
it's
file
just
says don't fucking worry about it.
yeah. That's that's what a DAT file stands for. Do it again, Tony. Yeah, we're gonna get this done. Tex talks computer problems. All right. Okay, it recognizes this is a PS3 game, so we've started. So long
Yeah.
as this doesn't start like, you know.
We hear the
So
Mario
long
Kart
as
64 music. Oh
it starts
no.
playing Luigi's Mansion.
Hey, Luigi's Mansion is a fire game. I have a GameCube emulator on my phone.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. Relax. It'll be okay. Luigi's Mansion is a far better game than this.
It was.
Done. Da, da, da,
That
da,
music is forever
da,
burned
da,
into my
da,
brain.
da, 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 da.
Luigi's Mansion, Guns of the Patriots. Oh no.
Oh,
no.
yeah. Welcome to Sometimes.
Even the cut screen is slow. We're back in slow Metal Gear Solid.
Oh yeah, that's what people wanted. They wanted that slow, long play. How can we make this experience last? Well, let me tell you, 12 frames a second.
Yes, less frames.
Less frames.
Uh-oh, it can't find the game disc. That's a bad sign.
Don't worry about it.
Oh no.
It has to do some loading. Dude, this is the best experience. This feels like using a bad CD. This is appropriate.
This is the start screen. What's gonna happen when we get into the boss fight? Myrtle Durfer finally implodes on itself.
So where's the lobby music? What lobby music?
Oh no. Oh
no. The glorious soundtrack to this Martel Gar.
There's no audio.
Don't worry about it. I'll make it up. We'll do Foley live.
Yeah,
I'm sure I can imitate all of the people in this.
Yeah, my voice is shot, Bionic. I've been sick all weekend.
Could you stream it to me? So
yeah. I forgot that I stopped.
No,
the
don't
stream.
worry. I'll listen. I'll do what Mike does on all these shitty games we play. I'll just do all the voices. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
There we go. That's the right stream.
Yeah. Wolf says we can hear text. We can hear the game, or we can hear depth. The game's optional.
With how squeaky my voice is right now, I don't know that you want to hear me.
Don't worry about it. That's not a problem. Like,
all right.
You could come out here on fire. You could burn alive like the Nazis at the end of the search for the Lost Ark. It wouldn't matter. This is a Kojima game. Next to that, you're fine.
Water break. Thank you.
My voice is a little low compared to Depth's. Well, I can't help that.
I can. There we go. Have fun with that.
Actually, that's a lie. I can press this button up and I can make this louder. There we go. So, yeah, I'll just do all the voices and we'll make it easy. All right.
Let's a posture check and a stretch before we go into this.
All right, here we go. Here. Oh, yeah. Feel that posture.
Honestly, since we haven't heard most of the Metal Gear Solid games previously, this is normal. Okay, yeah. So you don't need to rag on me that hard. I'm still figuring out OBS. I still don't know why it won't run outside of administrator mode. It just doesn't find the games. That seems like it shouldn't matter, but it seems to.
We need to send.
I still don't know why it crashes at 204.
Don't worry.
This is a
I bet
completely
some.
clean install of OBS, and it crashed last time.
I think we'll be fine. Now let's proceed with Kojima.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We got to get through this.
Oh
All right.
no.
Dun 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 dun. Da 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 da
Okay.
da da da.
This is actually not as bad as I anticipated. Oh, hey, there's the dolls.
Wow, you can see them now. Uh-oh. It seems the pixels don't seem to enjoy the collisions of the bullets as much.
Nope.
All right, so that's the sound of an M4.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear a funny story?
What's up?
All right,
Oh
so
no.
I have a confession
That's a
to
bad
make.
thing.
What do you mean that's a bad thing? I think
We're
that
getting
the
about
4 frames.
4 frames. Oh god.
This is like an early 90s action sequence in film where they just slow stuff down and frames drop. Just do what we did in EVE Online, which is look away. Look
I'm
away from the
trying.
action.
I'm trying.
Yeah,
Oh good
if
lord,
you
I'm
look away
trying.
from the action, you'll be better. This is very cinematic. This is what Kojima wanted. You know. So if you need a break from the seasickness caused by.
Oh yeah, there we go. Got a cutscene
All
again.
right. Excellent.
Oh no, she's got control of Meryl. She's gonna shoot me.
So years ago, well, okay, just long time ago, right?
Yeah,
I was a wee lad, and there was this game called Rainbow Six. Do you remember that game, Rainbow Six?
I do. Rainbow Six
Where
was
you
fucking metal.
the original Rainbow Six was awesome. So a friend of mine's dad had bought essentially like Boomer's first computer, the kit, and
Yeah.
it came with like a recording bit, and I don't know why, but we found out very quickly that you could record things in PC Wave and then like record like a fart and play it back and be like, oh look, I recorded a fart with a computer. And you know, it was like the 90s. You felt like you were doing something then.
Yeah.
So we found out that all of the files inside of Rainbow Six were in this folder, and if you put a file with the same name in there, it would just use it. It'd be like, do you want to overwrite this file? Yes. There was no such thing as a Steam verification back then. It didn't exist. So what we did slowly was his friend's dad, my friend's dad, was just this colossal asshole. He was just not a nice person.
Yeah.
And he would only let his son use like technology in certain windows of the day. So it would be like, oh, it's 5 o'clock, no more TV. Oh, it's 5 o'clock, no more computer.
Yeah.
It was just like a total Luddite. Like, now it's time to read the good book. And, you know, just like really, really not a nice person. But
Yes.
then his dad would get on the computer for like 8 hours and play games.
And watch
act like he
porn.
was doing- Yeah.
I know the type.
Yeah, I mean I've just described everyone's dad in the Midwest. So it was that or Doom. But so we re-recorded all the sound effects in there. I mean, every last sound effect we re-recorded in that game.
Okay.
And I mean, like, so, you know, it would be like Silent 1 for a silent pistol, and it was a very James Bond silencer sound.
Yeah.
So we would be like, psst. We would make it like way too long and do it with our mouth, you know? So we did mouth Foley for all of the gun sounds, you know? So like a machine gun or an MP5 would go, you know, when you used it. And his dad was freaking out because he was like, someone hacked my game. Someone broke in. It's that internet I heard of. He didn't have a modem. There was no way for anyone to connect to his computer. But his dad was like,
but
it's
he
that
doesn't
internet.
know that.
A hacker. Yeah, the hacker got in and changed my sounds. And I'm like, yeah, just like some kids would, I guess. But in his mind, a child did not have the know-how to make a computer work because a computer was designed by an engineer and thus it required like a 50-year-old to understand how it worked. Oh yeah, this is going to be fun.
I don't think it has... No, okay. It does have that motion control. Cool. Thank fucking Christ. I remembered to use a PS4 controller. Like, no, can I do that motion? I don't think I can do it.
You know, this seems like a really bad guy where they have some like kitschy baubles that they
Uh-huh.
have to take with them.
Yeah.
And if you take them away from them, they become dead. You know, that
Yeah.
seems like a really... Oh, gotta find that.
Yeah, gotta find the disc. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Everybody loves the K-Bar Karambit knife. I'm
You know
sure
what this
that
feels
Kojima
like?
saw one of those in a gas station in Lubbock, Texas.
You know what this feels like? Is this feels like a DM doing some dice rolls. Where it's like, and they fall down from the ceiling and wait, and all of the knives land all around them without hitting them and wait.
Yeah, instead of
And you're
rendering,
transfixed
there's a
watching
man
them.
drawing each frame.
Yeah, this is Kojima insisted on live rendering, which was very stressful.
Yeah.
I also love the idea of someone with a 1911 with an extended barrel and threaded barrel at that. I love the idea of somebody with an extended barrel or a threaded barrel. It just not having the thread protector or anything on it, and just running around.
Yeah.
Cool as can be. I've seen that a lot in some action movies, or they'll have this stupid long, huge flange on it, and they'll walk around acting like they're tactical and cool. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, but I think if you were gonna run a suppressor, you probably already would have one, not just be running around with, you know, Jimmy John's first suppressor host. Also, I mean, I don't like his full size, you know, slide rail guide. I think that's an amateur. I say stick with GI. That shit works.
Yeah. Man, this would be such a thrilling cutscene.
You know, we had to beat the person.
Oh no, the
but in order to
DM
beat the
says
person-
knife tornado. Yeah.
That's what it feels like, right? Like, oh no, you
Oh,
have
no.
to work for...
Back to the vault set camo for Snake.
Excellent. See, this is what we were missing. We were nearing the end of the game. It seems like the end of the game was coming too easy for us.
Yeah.
Way too easy for us.
You know, this might count as a non-lethal kill, so we might get the photo mode.
I really don't like the fact that he put that in there.
Yeah.
You know? It's I'm not trying to be like a super socially, you know,
I'm trying to
aware
remember
person
how to open
at
the
all
camera.
times, but I do know what tasteless looks like.
And this is
Hideo
pretty
Kojima-
fucking tasteless.
That's what I mean. It's like, I'm not saying that you can't have cupcake stuff or eye candy shit, but when you have someone who's like one scoop horrible trauma bait, and then on the other hand it's like sexualized tee-hee, you're like, wow, that seems like just bad. It's like someone who says, hey, you like ice cream, right? Deb, you like ice cream, don't you?
Ice cream's nice.
How would you like some mustard for that? I got some Coleman's hot mustard, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know, open those sinuses up so you can really taste the mint.
Mm.
So you see what I mean?
I could
it's
use
just,
some
it's
sinus
tasteless.
opening.
My grandmother swore on the curative properties of Chinese hot mustard.
What the
she
fuck
said-
is a non-lethal kill? Well, she explodes. Or no, these ones don't explode, excuse me. But yeah, if you use non-lethal weapons on them, then you get a pervy photo mode. God, he's got a weird thing about arms in this one. Is Kojima an arm man?
I don't know. I mean, The Digiman says, I don't have a tattoo, but I had an amazing idea for one. Get a bic of Celtic knotwork, but only have 1/3 of it done, and a tattoo of a guy tattooing on it. Then 10 years later, get the tattooist tattoo removed, do 1/3 more, and re-tattoo the tattooist doing it.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I like the idea that I told you about how to become a blur in the brain of your supervisor at any job. Every time they see or talk to you, have different facial hair or a different suit. You know, like buttoned, unbuttoned, suit, no
Yeah.
suit, glasses, no glasses, beard, no beard, mutton chops combed out, mutton chops combed down, no mutton chops, half mustache, full mustache. Every time you see them, be dressed slightly differently. So when they try to recall who did something, you are just a vague blur. They're going to go, oh, they're into, uh, well,
Oh, the arms and the knives have been thrown. Cutscene's almost over, guys. I'm suddenly very glad Silent Hills didn't get done. You know, I think that is the one thing he could have excelled at, because he's such a weird fucking guy, and Silent Hill was always at its best when it was uncomfortable in the topics it was trying to talk about.
I mean,
When
I
it
don't
became
think
jump
that,
scary, it became less scary, because jump scares is all we get in Western horror.
well, and that's the thing about Western horror is you're like, there's so many aspects to horror that are forgotten. Like good horror is layered existential dread,
Yeah.
where you're like, I am afraid of outside. Like that is good existential horror. And a really great example of this, like excellent
Oh, I don't think
existential
legs are
horror.
supposed to bend that way.
You know, I have seen some things on the internet, and I'm not going to bring it up, but I'm just going to say this: that Kojima's insistence on camera angles and everything else and deliberate framing of stuff is as delicate as like eating 3 or 4 dozen deviled eggs, and then at the eulogy of Mr. Rogers' funeral, just farting as loud and hard as you can as though your life depends on it. That is the delicacy of Kojima. Kojima is mustard ice cream.
Yeah.
Kojima is finishing your wedding vows by spraying yourself in the face with mace. Kojima is skating over sandpaper. It is absolutely uncomfortable, and yet somehow there is a gratifying sound involved. In every game, there are little pieces that you love. And you go, oh, wasn't that part great? But it's like Wagner. There's so much in there that is just paper thin and written so strangely that even when contrasted against other game devs, writers, movie makers, if you look at anything that, Kojima is trying to copy, you're just like, wow, the source material is 10,000% better. Like, how does this person have a following that is so rabid? Because I love weird stuff, and I don't want anyone out there to think that I'm trying to be elitist with weird stuff. I put references to Count Scary and the Ghoul and Mystery Science Theater 3000. I love all these, little public access things. I'm a huge fan of Red Green. I don't care what people think about what I like. I like all sorts of weird things. But I don't expect people to become rabid fans about them. It's just that when it comes down to Kojima, people celebrate the 5 minutes of it that is fun. There will be a 5 minute fun
Boob
part of
shot,
the game.
crotch shot. Now we get the gratuitous ass shot.
This is again like
Kojima really wants you to want this polygonal woman.
And here's the weird thing: is like people were up in damn arms about the cartoon sex thing that was in San Andreas back in the day, right?
It wasn't even
But
supposed to be in there.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, what if? And then, and it was just a ha. And then, you can have all sorts of weird shit like this in here, and people go, oh, it's art. It's really, it's deep. And I'm like,
Well, I will say that
no.
This is a game where people
No.
stop talking about Kojima and Metal Gear as really artistic games that had stupid elements and started talking about the entire thing being kind of stupid. Like, this is a game that did that.
I mean, I don't get it. I just really don't get it.
Yeah, everybody loves the latex toe shot. Thanks, Kojima.
I think those would be too tight. That doesn't look comfortable. That looks like that would really just you'd take your socks off at the end of the day and you would just be like, ugh.
Look, she'd pour them out. Those are just pooling
Ugh.
sweat. Like, they make splosh noises when she walks.
She just walks around like a frog. It's like plap, 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 plap.
Yeah.
She walks around. Yeah.
See, I want to know why her suit is clenching like the inside of a well, I'm not gonna finish that.
I'm just gonna say this. Like,
the copper
that is a
tone
suit-
bodysuit for all them aches and pains.
I'm just gonna say this. That suit is so tight that if you farted, there would be an air bubble that you would have to push out toward the gloves.
Toward
or
the neck hole.
Yeah, or the neck hole. There would be a fart that would be trapped there like a permanent bubble, and you'd have to like squeeze it out. It would get trapped in there. It would be trapped.
Yeah, War Orphan Camel Toe. Thank you, Mr. Kojima.
Thank you, Kojima, again for your sensitive directorial
That one's not
depiction.
making it to YouTube.
I just think that Kojima is one of those people that if you gave them a camera, they would end up on a list. It's just, this is gratuitous, and you realize what it is because it essentially
Ass jiggle physics for the jump. Thank you.
It's not only that. Every frame, every time this is
Where did the
frozen,
feathers come from?
I don't know. You could freeze this at any moment. Like, freeze this scene and then make this an album cover.
Yeah.
Any one of his scenes is an album cover accidentally. It's supposed to mean something, but it's not. It would be like, freeze it here and then put some Rammstein songs in the background and then like a date.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You know, Brutal Legend, actually, thank you, Lebanon, for donating some money to this shit show. When do I get to play? Oh, God, this is nowhere near as bad as Metal Gear Solid 3 was. We're fine.
Here's the other thing, is that while they write...
Neuro abstraction layer. What does that even mean?
That's I don't know.
I want to know what her barcode comes out as if I put it on the scanner.
It probably comes down to like $4.99 a pound, damaged goods.
What is this game? This is Metal Gear Solid 4. Guns of the Patriots. This is the end of Solid Snake's saga.
Wow.
Yeah, those I don't think move quite that way in real life, but
you know,
I don't expect him to know that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that experience has to be based on firsthand knowledge, and well, you know, when you depict ladies like this, typically you don't have that.
Yeah.
What was that saying? You know,
okay, yeah, the tramp stamp barcode scanner. I'm sure that's popular with the ladies.
Why wouldn't you want to put like the barcodes on the heels of the feet or something that would logically survive even a dismembering blast?
Yeah, or on the shoulders so they can walk by and you can just scan.
Yeah, like why wouldn't you do things like if you're gonna have a barcode, it wouldn't be on the back of your neck. It'd be on your shoulder. It'd be on the base of your foot. It's the base of your foot to survive dismemberment or a blast. They almost always find the feet.
You know, even the bad guys in the second one had it on the center of their forehead. Okay, I could see that. Hold still. Boop. All right, you're one of my henchmen.
Yeah, exactly. Like I could see that, or like an RFID in the hand. You know, wave it over the thing. That makes sense, but. Like, if you have to put a tramp stamp in between layers of clothes, that's not really good. Because it's like, hey, disrobe.
We're getting there. We're almost at the point where I can move the controller again. So yeah.
Why is she wrapped in grape leaves?
Well, you know.
Is she Greek?
No. Oh, there we go. Yeah, man, those puppies are fighting underneath that latex.
Well, it's she's trying to push a fart out. It's getting to that point. She's almost got it to the neck hole.
Oh, and now she's got to do a couple of dance moves for Snake.
Yeah, this is
I feel
symbolism.
dirty after this.
It kind of always does make you feel dirty. Like Kojima's trying to make you feel bad for shooting this person. Trying.
Another ass shot. Do you guys want to know what didn't make it into the YouTube archive and why? One of our contraband police. They wouldn't do it because we talked about the shat on the couch. That was what they objected to.
Yeah, they said, yeah.
God, I hope this doesn't pass YouTube's algorithm.
Well, they said shat on the couch, and that was true because it was like, just a true moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, no, it was the statement of sleeping in a dead person's bed.
Oh,
That's
yes,
what it was.
yes.
Yeah, well, who hasn't been to somebody's house
and
that's
seen
been in a family for multiple generations? And you're like, oh, that's the room where so-and-so passed. That happens when a house has been in someone's family for 100 years.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying like literally 5 minutes after.
Like,
I'm not saying like...
it's still cold from grandma. Like, yeah, no.
Yeah, no, we're just saying like, oh, yeah, like I have no problem even if that's the same bed. That like, I don't. I think that's like, yeah.
Now, if there's a person-shaped stain, person-shaped stain... in a very mottled brown color. Okay, yeah, maybe flip that mattress over. But
if there's a divot.
Oh yeah, contraband police it's okay.
Contraband police is actually nice because it's like a first-person Papers, Please, but you don't feel really stupid because every time you miss something, it's not the end of the world. It's not like Papers, Please, where it's like, uh-oh, now you go to prison forever.
Well, but Papers, Please was great about that because that you fucked up noise will always be stuck in my head.
There is a line in Papers, Please on the concrete 3/4 of the way to the first line on the marker away from the booth. And that is this invisible line where when they cross it is when you get in trouble or not.
Yeah, and as they approach it, you start to shrug a little bit. Yes.
Oh, it's like, oh my God. And then they go by and you're like, yeah, I knew I was good. I knew I made the correct decisions.
Yeah.
And then when it goes bad, you start yelling and you just start denying people from that country.
Yeah, Contraband Police right now, the gameplay loop is a little bit really repetitive. And it needs more options to be just a corrupt piece of shit. But yeah, it generally it's a fun
It's got some
game.
fun elements. It's got a lot of fun elements. Some people complained about the graphics.
Is she whisking? I'm not watching anymore.
I'm not watching anything. She has basically an REO Speedwagon roadie's haircut. Look at it.
Oh,
that's
she
roll
does.
With the changes.
Yeah,
it's like every time I see her, I'm like, roll with the changes. Just yeah.
I've seen a couple Eastern Europeans with that cut.
Yeah, it's called hockey hair. And so that's a Czech haircut if ever there was one. But if someone has that kind of hair and they don't own like a Trans Am, Snake play hockey.
Snake hasn't said anything. He hasn't reacted in any visible way. He's just getting a more and more disgusted look on his face.
Snake watched this lady repeatedly fall down, dance, explode into feathers, fall down, and then whisk the air, and then fall down, and then she's getting up again. She repeatedly loses her mind. That's what the script probably says. And this person animating it was like, how can I make that look weird? Hold on, let me get my creepy tools. I'd be like, hey, your armor seems to camo everything and you can do psychic powers, but if you can do all that stuff, puzzle me this. Why do you have a haircut from 1984? Why do you have a haircut that looks like you did it with a Flowbee?
All right.
If you're a super commando, like what is your end goal, lady? And she's like, I'm the fear.
Lucky Omen wants to know what kind of haircut does a Fiero guy have?
Just imagine in your head, close your eyes, and say tunnel snakes rule. And the first thing you see in your head is that haircut. I'm telling you, if Fiero Guy is an I've told you about Fiero Guy,
Mm-hmm.
Just everyone else in high school was just absolutely kind of in their own realm.
Oh, the leather
And
skin decal's gone. We're almost at the point where we can move.
yeah, but Fiero Guy tagged out early in life, where everyone else says, "I want a tomboy girlfriend," or "I want $1 million," or "I want to be famous." Everyone had their fixation in high school and college, and everybody went down their paths. But that guy was like, "I want a fucking Fiero,"
Hey, Cookie Mama.
and he bought a Fiero. It's what he wanted. Like it was
Hold
his
on.
biggest thing.
In an emergency open here for quick separation of suit systems? What, you grab each cheek and pull outward? What in the fuck?
Yeah, Iron Phoenix 617 says she got a haircut like an extra in Terminator 1.
Oh god, she does.
But what I'm saying is it's like, yeah, Fiero guy chose what he wanted. He's like, I want a Pontiac Fiero and everything that goes with that lifestyle, just
Yeah.
like this,
She's got
pamphlet
Gerard
says.
Way's makeup from like 2007.
You know, it I've seen a lot of really bad applications of makeup, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm a simple person with that. Whatever floats your boat. But if you look like a corpse, back off a little bit, just a bit. I mean, maybe to where people don't confuse you for like some sort of serial killer. Now,
That's
with
a
the
pretty
way
good.
this
That's a
lady
pretty good
looks,
frame. Think about that as an album cover. Whose album cover would that have been?
oh god, that's like a Cure album cover. I think.
I was gonna say Portishead. They were always into weird shit.
Yeah, Ogawa Cast says, didn't they use that haircut in Cyberfail 2077?
They did.
Probably. So that is a classic cyberpunk haircut.
Oh god, please
but
don't.
you have to be the right person to pull that off. To have that haircut, you need a trench coat with a tall collar, and you need pants.
Oh
You
god,
cannot
she's
have that
fast.
haircut without pants. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
I think you need pants or a hockey uniform.
Good
So what's her
fucking
deal?
god, she's fast.
She's speed walking like a grandma that's got to get to the food court because Chick-fil-A just opened.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to make it down to go get that little statue. Not that I really care.
Yeah, she's
she
a
will
power
catch me.
walker. She's a power walker. She's a quick one. Yeah, so Wilf says, so she spends 20 minutes writhing on the floor. Snake does nothing. Then she tries to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I
yeah.
think if she catches me, I die of emotions or something like that. I don't recall.
Yeah, emotions. You die of emotions.
Uh-huh.
That's like saying if you don't eat Arby's, you die of sad. That sounds like a commercial. It doesn't. It's insane. Do you think Kojima had a bad experience with a lady trying to call him out, and this is what this is based on? Like, if she finds you, your emotions will kill you. You must hide. Like, this is like all kind of a mirrored thing for Kojima's personal life. I don't know.
I've got no idea. I know I don't like it. I don't like the way she's animated. So yeah, I'm trying to show you guys a really awful photo mode. I have to run away from her for I think like 2 or 3 minutes.
Look at that.
Whoop, 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 whoop,
She's just
whoop.
having
She's
herself
like,
a walk.
yeah, but because her pathfinding sucks, she's wandering around like drunk Zoidberg. And she moves slightly too fast for that animation, so it looks like she's moonwalking.
Look, she is a smooth criminal, right?
Dun, 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 dun,
That's
dun,
what it's
dun,
about.
dun, dun, dun.
Dun 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 dun.
See, if Snake was from the Midwest, he wouldn't have to worry. We're really good at avoiding emotions.
That's fair. By the way, since we're running around like this, I was going to say for next Monday, what do you want to do? Now, we had suggested, believe it or not, Fred had pointed out that if we decided to do Hearts of Iron for a Monday Madness, there is a version of that mod pack we use that has streamer-friendly music.
Does it? Yeah, this is... Here we go. This is the photo mode.
Ah, yes, the photo mode.
And I have to find the camera. I never pick up the camera. Okay.
Oh,
Well, if I had cared...
Same thing.
I don't think I have access to my weapons here. Oh, I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, white photo mode, and if you point the camera at her, she'll make like kawaii fucking poses for you.
However, a belt-fed machine gun will make her make other poses, and will make the cutscenes in, which is pretty amazing. You know, as it turns out, 30 caliber machine gun just gets it done. That's the sound it makes.
Yeah, that is approximately the sound. Gesundheit. Oh, good lord.
And she dies again.
Yeah. So once we're done with all this part, then I can save. I'm gonna have
album cover.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Album cover. I'm just saying, you know.
God, even this one, you could put, band name in the top left there.
Yeah. This is all album cover. Seriously. This is an album cover. This is just a celebration of album covers.
That Jack Black game, Brutal Legend, had to write an entire algorithm to point the camera in the direction that makes the best album cover. And Kojima just took complete control away from the viewer so that it didn't matter. He could show us what he wanted. And yeah, this is being exacerbated in length by the fact it's going about 10 frames a second, but it's still trying to play all 60 frames.
Does Kojima know how people bend? No, I don't think so. I think Kojima thinks that when people are at rest, they assume the pose of a mousetrap being set into place. And so he has these scenes where he's like, and mousetrap pose. And they're just there, and then they wave their hands around in the air because the strings, get it? All the strings, because they were the puppeteer 5 deaths ago. Remember when you were fighting them and they had everyone? Remember when you were in that puppet fight an hour ago? Remember that puppet fight?
Yeah.
This is still that. All those strings. Oh, wow. We tied it all
together.
together.
Why didn't Kojima just make movies? Because nobody would pay him to. I think that's it. I think he probably would have been happier making movies. Same with like David Cage.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you realize people are probably not in their best vocation. There's nothing against them. It's just...
Some of them want to use you. Yeah, fucking A. Eurythmics.
Pretty much. Hold on, let me put that on.
No one else would have been happier.
Let me put that on in the background. Sweet Dreams. Let's see if this fits. One moment.
Someone get the Narcan.
Oh my god. All right. Sweet Dreams by Eurythmics actually works for this.
I'm certain.
It fits. Again, album cover.
Oh yeah, with the single hand like that? Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Smoking Section by Tom Waits.
No, this isn't the internet. This is the game. This is what happens when you do
man.
X-Float accurate. But it did get us through the boss fight. So here, as soon as I can save, I'm gonna go back to the technical difficulty screen, and I'm going to change the settings back.
Well, I know what you could do in the interim while we're waiting for this. You could tell them the story about the time you met Danger Six. No, sorry. Hold on. Electric Six. Sorry.
Oh, Electric
I came.
Six.
Yeah.
Yes. God, Electric Six. They are a fun show. Um,
Yeah.
for any of you
Yeah.
guys who don't know Electric Six, they're a
Danger,
band.
danger, high voltage.
Yeah, Danger High Voltage and Gay Bar are their two songs that they oh fuck, is no, yeah, this is a fake out. I remember now. Sorry guys, I don't mean to spoil it for you, but this cutscene makes it seem like there's a third part of this boss fight where you fight Psycho Mantis, but there's nothing to it.
So, danger, danger, high voltage.
Yep.
Electric Six. Oh, did it crash? No. Okay, it's
No.
good. Okay.
So yeah, no. Electric Six. They're an interesting band. Evidently, they play their local Detroit circuit a lot. They've always been a pound the pavement kind of band. Even when they were big, they did that. And they can't get booked at any Detroit area like venues anymore because they've played them so much. So they'll book themselves under fake band names. And then they'll show up and it's Electric Six. But I managed to see him in a bar, a really kind of rundown bar in Lawrence about 8 years back now. And you could tell they were just kind of dragging ass. They'd clearly been on the road all night to get here and probably had to go right back on the road afterwards.
Right, right.
So they play their show. It's a real high energy show. They play some of the old favorites. At the time, they were promoting Human Zoo, which I think is 2 releases from what they currently are working on. Psycho Mantis from Metal Gear Solid 1, because you might have forgotten. It's been that long. Yeah, and afterwards, they're like, yeah, hey, we need to go get some IHOP before we're gonna hit the road again. So anybody that wants to meet the band can come find us at the IHOP at the corner of like 3rd and Douglas. So I was like, you know what?
Great.
I'm not doing anything. I went and I had fucking waffles at 3 a.m. with Electric Six. It was a real good time. I wish more bands would do that. I had more time at IHOP than I did at the show, and that's not saying that the show was bad. It was a great show.
I went to a ZZ Top concert once. I'm not usually one for crowds, but I like ZZ Top. I went to ZZ Top, and live on stage, usually in a ZZ Top song, you're like, man, I wish that guitar solo went on for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, live they do that. The guy's just like, I don't think Sharp Dressed Man is 28 minutes long. It can be. You're like, I didn't know Tube Steak Boogie had 8 refrains. It can. And it's funny because they like, the show that I've seen shows where ZZ Top comes out and they'll have another show after him and ZZ Top runs over for like 2 hours. And then the other show is like, thanks. How do I fucking match that?
Yeah.
The best show I ever saw live, though, I shit you not, was BB King. I went to his 80th birthday tour, and I saw BB King, and he was so fucking good. And I remember he told a story once about passing through town and about, adversity and hardship. And one of his drummers, who was a local drummer, like did a rim shot, just like brach after he said something. And BB King looked at him and he said, son, I may be old, but I'm from Memphis and we cut drummers. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be a good show.
Oh, good fucking lord.
Hey man, did you know that Psycho and Mantis was a character in a better game, which they're gonna show you a piece of? Real one you could play? I do.
Yes.
But no, BB King was awesome. That was an awesome fucking show. Like, a lot of people were trying to be mean in his later years and saying, he doesn't have the energy he does. And I'm like, he's 80. Like, he's 80 and sings for 2 hours a night. Fuck you. I'm sorry, but when you're 80, most of you are going to be like, I like pooping. You know? You won't be like, let's hit 100 shows a month.
Oh, good fucking lord.
Pepperidge Farm remembers the gameplay. You know, if I saw somebody today, and I'm not trying to be weird with Kojima, but this is true even in the 90s, even in the late 90s, if you saw someone dressed like Psycho Mantis, you wouldn't assume they were in the military.
No, you would not.
You would assume that they had crawled out of somebody's dungeon and, like, it's best not to get involved. That's their lifestyle. You just salute. You're like, good day to you, sir and or madam. Time to move on.
Hold
Too
on.
rich for my blood.
Yep, flashback. So, yeah, he's talking about, I can read your memory card, and you'll never defeat me. I learned how to affect your controller on plug-in 2. And Snake doesn't say anything in response, if I recall. And he's like, oh my god, I don't have any control over you anymore. And then he dissipates. And then for some reason, the Sorrow shows up, and he's standing on the balcony. He's like, Snake, you're the best soldier that's ever lived. And then he disappears too. And Snake's like, I guess I'm hallucinating? And he calls Dennis Rodman about it.
Oh, wow.
Hey, B.B. King, a musician who didn't fly into a mountain.
I'm just sitting here looking at Psycho Mantis for the 12th minute.
Yeah. So this is probably a 4-minute cutscene normally. Like, it's still not short by any means, but...
I'm going to say this, and I'm just being honest. Like, when I make film, I sit there and sometimes and I go, cut that, cut this, cut that. And at a certain point, I have like a point where I say, like, you got to remove shit,
Yeah,
you can't add anything else. You got to remove things.
Good video game or even film project has enough material on the cutting room floor to make an entire other film or game.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, here's the thing is, for instance, The Hunchback as it is now, in my editing queue, I could turn into 3 movies. And
Yeah,
each one would be pretty good. So when you look at complexity of stuff, you can make bigger things. But when you look at a Vinci game,
skip.
No, it's all right. Don't worry about it.
I'm
He's just
so
gonna talk
sorry.
about his feelings.
Yeah,
We're fine.
Drebin, whatever. I don't care. I really don't care. You can look it up on the fucking wiki if you want to. She's from South America. Didn't she look really, South American?
My roommate and friend, Mr. Goat, is from South America, and he looks very much like that. I cannot tell you how pale and chalky he is.
Yeah.
I often comment on the sickly, Casperish pallor of the people of South America. Huts, also my friend, from Argentina. He a very, 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 very white person, extremely pale, cannot even venture out into sunlight, crisps up. It's unfortunate.
All right.
As you know, people from South America are like this, and Kojima, nailed it perfectly. Oh wow, that's melting. Excellent.
Yeah, I've gotta change my configurations again to make this
All right.
fucking run.
Good times.
All right, we're gonna go to the technical difficulty screen. We'll be right back.
We'll be back. Look.
Alright, he's ready, I'm ready, we're ready. We're all on the pain train, going all the way to the end of Metal Gear Solid 4.
Look, I'm gonna say this. Can I? Okay, someone. I said we're not geniuses, and Vectron said that's what people would say. You know, uh, you know that's what people would say if we weren't geniuses. Now, I will say this: I was in Mensa for a while. Then I stopped going because never before have I gathered and said, "Man, I wish I could put all the pretentious assholes in one room." And that's what I found at a Mensa meeting. Is it was like, we as smart people at Smart People the Gathering, we at Smart People the Gathering believe in smart solutions to smart problems. We're very smart, as you know. And I'm like, all right. I mean, I'm sorry, but smart comes in various ways. People are different from different backgrounds. Not all of us listen to NPR all the time and drink red wine and enjoy quiche and, waxing our mustaches. Some of us are knuckle dragging, wrench turning people for a living who only in the middle, I would say maybe in the middle latter half of our 30s
Yeah.
moved into white collar. And so running into a bunch of people who are like, as a smart person, and I'm like, no thanks. This sounds really crap.
I knew a guy who, he and his dad both tested to get into Mensa like 8 times. I never understood the drive to want to be the,
Well, here's the thing, is if you require only one measure of intelligence as a measure to get into a club, that's not a great bar. Because imagine if I said, I'll let you into my bar, but you have to have 2783 in your pocket.
see a digi.
That's Price is Right logic, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. It's just like, well. Yeah, I'm sorry, but no, this one measure. I'm sorry, but this bar is for people who have legs that are 4 inches larger than the average median. It's like, that's weird. Is it just because the bar stools are taller or what?
Well, longer or, wider in circumference, because I'm part of that second group.
You are a member of many weird groups, but the least of which is Russian armor appreciation.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is like, how do you judge smarter than you? Like, Mensa ain't shit. It's one of those things where, like, yeah, you can go buy a book, How to Get into Mensa, and study that book and then pass the test just fine and get in. And you don't have to have an education to do that. If it's important to you, you can, but what is it? What's the point of it? Like a magic club just based on intelligence would be like, hey, let's open the free throw society. And you have to, like, throw 3 free throw 3-pointers to get in, right? Well, what kind of metric is that for people? Does that mean I'm going to get a bunch of people who are good at basketball? No, I'm not. I'm going to get good at people who are good at throwing free ball baskets, right?
Why?
Free throw. That's it. It's a bad metric.
Why would you jump? Excuse me, catapult. You got 2 hanging from your ears. You got at least 3. Excuse me, only 1 hanging from your ears. Why would you catapult onto a ship full to the brim with bad people with 3 magazines for your 2 primary weapons, which share magazines?
I would have like 8 ammo boxes of magazines. I would have magazines duct taped. I would have magazines duct taped to me. As we know, if you get shot in the leg, you can walk on it, no problem. That's not in a danger zone at all.
Oh yeah, so I forgot. Yeah, one of the cutscenes we skipped was why does he have extra mags?
I don't know.
He
What does he have extra
carry-
mags for her?
Yeah, he doesn't carry a Desert Eagle. I shot through the shoulder too. Anyway, yeah, she thought he was dead, and she's trying to hold people off so Snake can run down the empty tunnel.
Right.
I don't know why he's got the M82 Bullpup, but he does.
He does. But no, it's like back to the smart people flex or any of that other prestigious nonsense. It's
Where
like,
did he pull the XM8 out of?
who cares? I'm not gonna dignify anything that's going on with my comment. Look, it's an XM8 that's working. Wow, it's an XM8 that takes a magazine that other people make than H&K.
Well, no, that's a
do you
G36 mag, so.
Oh, I'm sorry, never mind. It's like, what I'm gonna say is when it comes down to anything that's going on screen, what is
we had to
have
flashback
Magnum
to all the
earrings?
times he shit himself.
That's really important when, you know, you're having a relationship. He's like, I'm dependable. Remember, I can make a loaf on command. But like, when it comes down to smarter than people shit or whatever, it's I hate pretentiousness. It's like Kojima is essentially pretentious. He's saying this is art and this is a movie. And you and I are watching it going, yeah, but while we're not sophisticated filmmakers or known for it, we could come up with 100 better ways to do everything in this sequence, right? Based on just movies we'd seen.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be like, oh, wow, why don't they do, I don't know, a run and gun like you see in, hell, any of the good westerns? I mean, good lord.
Yeah, another flashback to him shitting
Have them
himself.
pull a GoldenEye, get behind one of those carts that they can't shoot at and slowly move across the thing while talking. Like, there's 100 ways to carry this dialogue without them both freezing in an open doorway right now. Just standing there,
nothing so
having this
romantic as
conversation.
backing a woman into a corner. Johnny shits his pants.
In the middle of a firefight while standing in the open hallway. It's like, again, pretension. No. Why?
I do appreciate that he's suddenly a badass now.
But yeah, just remember, anytime anyone says you can't make a movie, look at this shit. Look at this shit. If someone says you think you can't make a
Where's he
movie,
pulling
just
those
look at
out
this.
of? He doesn't have.
Don't you worry about
He
it.
doesn't have a
This
butt
is-
pack on.
This is
There's nothing there.
1970s movie logic.
Oh, excuse me.
for
He's got a
Hong
zippered
Kong
pouch
movie.
back there. It is. This is hard boiled, but also it's.
It's hard boiled with a dialogue written by Barney.
Well-
it's really, really jarring. I hate to say, but Danger, High Voltage still works to this.
I believe
I've had it
that.
on loop.
I believe that.
But, I mean, I'm sitting here looking at this, and I'm like, yeah, this is straight out of Hong Kong cinema, and you could make this work really well in 100 ways that isn't awkward, while also still addressing the whole need to survive together thing, and
Yeah.
the tension of it. You could do that in a way that didn't make these characters seem, like, laughable and pathetic. You've spent games making these characters a thing, and this is supposed to be a celebration of them finding a human connection. This is supposed to be quite literally the meme of Love Can Bloom, and it's a series of very sloppy action tropes.
Where did he get a
you're like,
Desert Eagle?
Don't worry about it. That's really irrelevant to the whole love thing they're doing now, which is incredibly relevant. Because after you've taken multiple high-impact, high-caliber gunshot wounds, you just need to make out with a lady you shit yourself in front of.
Repeatedly.
Past months, you know. And I think that's natural. That's the natural flow of escalation of amorous intent as explored by Hideo Kojima.
Get off me.
Again, there's
right.
100 ways to write shit. So if anyone ever says like, "Oh, you couldn't write a thing," or "You couldn't blah blah blah," you're not smart enough. Point to this and say, "I could do better than Kojima," and you're not wrong.
Yeah. So if anybody's wondering what the fuck that actually was, that is because of the line that fucking Otacon says at one point in the first game where he's like, "Do you think love can bloom on a battlefield?" As his voice cracks and he pisses himself because he's Otacon.
Yeah,
And
it's
Kojima thought he had to answer that question, so he did.
whatever happened to show don't tell? Like, what if at the very end of all this, you did something more suggestive than stated, and you showed them holding
Get the
hands?
fuck off me.
At the end of all this, you showed them just holding hands together, and you're like, wow, maybe they are together. Show don't tell. Don't have
Yeah.
them explore the relationship and then make out in the middle of a gunfight in which they get repeatedly shot. It's too many themes at once.
Well, he had to show that it literally can bloom on the battlefield, you know?
Well, the other problem is that if your relationship is predicated upon a non-repeatable situation, e.g. a trauma or something like that, it's not really going to work. Also, I love your I shoot myself with RPG Rambo thing. It seems to work. Like, Old Snake is very bendy. And I think that's true of, like, old people when they're driving cars. You know? Like, I've seen old people hit the curb when they drive a car, and they're like Gumby. It doesn't bother them. They're just like, okay, time to leave, and they just, you know. Do you have any chaff grenades?
No.
What is this fight? Diggs. You don't understand. You're not sophisticated enough to understand the complex meaning of being attacked by hundreds of arms. Get it? It's an arms industry statement because they all have arms and they all have little Glocks in their little arms.
Yeah.
And you need to call the arms industry man who has the pet monkey that's addicted to soda, because that's also a statement against the commercialization of product and its rampant availability. And so, you know, you have to remember that the soda is bad, and to eat rations, and to use your trust in your friends who tell you things, to like not trust the institutions that trained you to do stuff, but you also the arms. See, you don't understand Kojima because the brain. You have to have the brain. Very large, smooth brain to get this.
Yeah. It is completely devoid of all thought and emotion. That's what you need.
Diggs, if you said that with overalls on and a straw hat, I know I'm dumb, but I know stupid. Like when it comes down to a review for something, like, well, I may be a simple man, but I know that's a mite bit slow.
The pants shitter can just get some diapers from the monkey. So what you missed when we were ranting over their conversation was Johnny's like, I refuse to do any nanomachines because I'm afraid of needles. And she's like, that's why you shit your pants all the time. It was Guardia. And he's like, yep. And yeah, then she kissed him while covered in blood.
Well, I think that may just be a trauma response. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
some
they
people
do
ride
get
a
married.
motorcycle a bit too. Again, show don't tell, right? Wouldn't that be one of those things where you just show it?
Oh yeah, it's machete fight time. I'm bringing my law.
You know, I fought the law, and the law won. Now remember, winners don't do drugs, but Snake smokes like a chimney and shoots strange things into his neck that strangers give him.
Yeah. He's
Snake
one
has-
step above floor pills.
Yeah, he's like, you know what I need to do? I need to shoot this shit right into the main vein immediately, because this knife fight looks like bullshit.
He's opting out of the raw deal. He's just trying to OD before they get here. No, they pulled out blades, so you know what time it is. It's high heel
It's
ninja
knife
time.
It's Knife Fight City.
Oh my god,
Hey,
his
look.
arms are still cut off, so he's knife fighting with his jaw.
As you know, the human jaw is necessary to knife fight when you buckle yourself into your moody trench coat. I
I'm lightning.
had somebody. Wouldn't it be funny if he was like looking at them and they pulled out their knives and he was like, what if he scraped the wall with that knife and it shocked him because he's
Oh,
mostly
this gives
metal?
me morale because I'm seeing him do better than me, I guess.
You know, again, DMPC moments are never without. I mean, good God. Also,
Yeah.
you know, now seeing that unit's models, I guess I kind of understand. I guess I kind of understand how they can like jump up because they have calves like those people who do Olympic cycling. Have you ever seen those people
Yeah.
who do Olympic cycling where the upper half of them looks like they're a popsicle stick, but the lower half of them looks like a horse?
Yes. So
Like if you
need
startled
to
that guy and
stop
he
you
kicked you, you die. What?
to tell you that he just threw that sword so hard it stuck in the armored bulkhead of a battleship with his teeth.
Listen, it's because I don't know. Robots have their own rules. His hair's fiber optics.
It's
He's
like
a unicorn.
3-4 fucking bad guys watching us have this cutscene. They're just standing there. He's still the man's all robot. There's no youth left. You still have your youth? What in the fuck are you talking about? You senile old man.
60% of you is still mostly 40%
Like,
real.
Yeah, Kenmore made 80% of that body.
Yeah, like I'm sure there's an app that controls most of him.
Oh no,
sure
they
he's
stopped supporting your digestion app. Guess you fucking die.
Well, I guess you have to fart uncontrollably now. So, what is this? Like, is Raiden the $6 million man? Like, what was the idea? Were they gonna make more of him?
I don't know.
I mean, like, who made him that? Like, was this an accident? Did he fall into a parts bin?
Well, and I think, based on what I saw in the short bit of Revengeance, that he's got like a combat body that he slots himself into, and that's this one. And then he's also got like a normal body that doesn't have the weird pointy chin that he wears like a suit over when he's running his mercenary business.
As we know, the jaw is one of the most bullet-impacted areas of the face meat.
Yeah, I mean, he's got RoboCop syndrome, right? Nobody can remember to aim for the little bit of skin showing.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, like, the bad guys in RoboCop had shotguns until a point, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that katana with that rope looks like something that would come up
It's
in one of those
paracord.
loot crates. Yeah,
No,
but I'm
what
saying
that
it
is,
looks like
that is a fucking mall store ninja sword with a paracord
I
wrap.
get you. What I'm saying is it looks like it comes in one of those, like, man crate things. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like bespoke post for $190 a month. You can get a pint of whiskey and a sword that won't cut wood. And you're like, oh, all right. Okay. They're like, please sign up using this code and we promise you it's not dumb. And I'm like, I don't know. That seems kind of dumb.
Yeah, well,
yes.
you get these items at cost because our real business model is selling your data.
Yes, battleships known for their stairs, you know.
Yeah.
They're long, grand, and sweeping staircases.
Yeah,
Bespoke post, you can get a knife that. It's just somebody showed me one of those knives. It was funny because as soon as they put it in their hands, you saw that like the knife that the model was using, the model must have had like baby hands.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this knife looks 3/4 scale. Oh, cool! They're showing a movie that's cooler than what's happening.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
They're trying to show, you know, here's everybody.
Doing their part.
Doing their part. Oh no, it's the Metal Gear Ray. It's attacking the Missouri.
Right. And I hate to say this, but like a 16-inch Mark 7, if you light that off on deck and there's a dude there, he wouldn't be. Very quickly.
No.
Like, those people would be dead.
Yeah.
Everyone on that bridge would be dead. It would be bad.
Oh, yeah. Meryl and Johnny both got shot. Oh no.
Is this how beef jerky is made?
It's a railgun. Yeah, this is exactly how beef jerky's made. We're in the crawling portion. We've got the sad wailing music.
You know, I think it's funny that this is a future that's just governed by big stupid robots, and I know BattleTech is as well, but there's at least human moments behind it. Like, you're like, well, that robot seems dumb, and then you read the story of like the people who govern the robots and send them in, you know, and who you know died and who lived and how they chose to live, and you're like, oh wow, this setting is actually deep and interesting. This is a setting that's governed by like robots, and if you don't find the 5 minutes of robot design interesting, you realize that the rest of it is just an awkward kid telling you his fan fiction. As you know, radiation makes you glow.
This is actually microwave. I'm in a
sorry.
giant fucking microwave.
As you know, microwaves are not radiation, thank you.
Well, yes. But
not radiation. Microwaves are not radiation. Black Pants Legion.
but this is a very specific kind of radiation that is actually
Yes.
used to heat things.
It's used to make potatoes delicious.
And eggs
And
weird.
so- yeah, I love how you'll find those recipes every so often. They used to be on Facebook and MySpace, and then they were on emails. They were email chains for a while.
And before that
And
they
then-
were 70s recipe cards.
Yeah, and now they're on like TikTok, and people like, in 5 minutes you can make yourself your very own cupcake in the microwave. And I'm like, let me save you some time. Just make fucking just make, you know, just make it the normal way. It's worth it.
It's worth it to not have to clean that out of a mug.
You know, I'm gonna say this as well. Please get out of the scene so I don't have to watch a kid.
This is
using
not a
fucking
cutscene.
Spatula.
This is not a cutscene. I can't skip
I
it.
get you. God damn it! Mash that button like
I
it was you
am mad. I'm
I
beating the
want
brakes
that
off.
thing. Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you.
Every battleship has the long pork microwave room. Yeah. Rotate snake to ensure thorough cooking. Oh yeah, there's all the muscle fibers in his fiber suit.
Well, as you know, when you take a lot of microwaves, your face is perfectly fine.
Yeah. Even.
You just look like you've been through a sauna. Your face doesn't look different at all. You just, you know. Smoking. Ah, man. You know what's weird is, when I see somebody who looks this bad, like puking and sticking stuff in their neck and screaming and making noises, it just reminds me of like the last time I went to a Golden Corral. Now, those of you in Europe who are up past your bedtime will have probably heard us make a joke or 8 about Golden Corral, mainly in reference to Stefan Amaris's final dispensation.
It's like a graveyard in here.
Wow, isn't that amazing? But yeah, like I went to Golden Corral and I watched somebody walk out where they had the chocolate fountain. You're familiar with the chocolate fountain? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that's got the oily sheen that they don't want to talk about?
Don't worry about the fucking wax in there. Look, so you got the chocolate fountain. And what was amazing with the chocolate fountain is I watched somebody walk up to that chocolate fountain and they had nothing but a whole plate of pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone in that restaurant, it was like record skip a beat. Like everyone stopped to watch as this person just took one piece of pizza at a time and ran it under there. Like watching somebody, you know, like paint a boat. They just coated all their pizza and ate it. They ate it in front of that thing, just one piece after a time.
Oh, well, you gotta get it while the chocolate's hot.
I think I saw like 2 of the cooks in there privately resolve, just by visual, privately resolve to quit within the week. Like I think I saw their like flinch. It was that strong. Like, if you ever want to see somebody who looks like Baron Harkonnen eat their weight in macaroni and cheese, go to Golden Corral.
Yeah. If you want to see the just one wafer thin mint scene from Monty Python, go to Golden Corral.
I have a friend of mine who's very sheltered, and what's amazing is my sheltered friend when I visited him in Texas. He's an off the grid guy, more or less, and I was like, let's go eat. And he goes, well, what do you want to eat? Chinese, Mexican, burgers, steaks, what? And I said, I can't decide. And he looks at me and dead serious goes, what if I told you there was a place where you could get Chinese, Mexican, pizza just like you like it, anything. I was like, wow, a restaurant that does everything competently. And he goes, yeah, they've got literally everything. They've been in business a long time. And he took me to Golden Corral.
Oh no!
And I had to act like I'd never seen one before. I had to act like it. I seriously did. I was just like, oh wow, oh shit, oh Chinese and barbecue at the same place. Wow, Sometimes you have those moments in life. Now, my favorite Mexican joint is no longer open, but my favorite Mexican joint in Texas had portraits on every wall of Mexican revolutionary generals.
Oh, nice.
Full on portraits. So you're like, ah yes, I'll take the Via table. It was great. It was great. You could either get a omelet the size of a dinner plate, or you could get a burrito the size of a dinner plate, and it was just great. Like,
see,
it was a great place
out in Kansas City. My favorite burger place. I knew they actually flame broiled the burgers. Do you know how I knew that?
How?
They burned down twice.
I told you about that barbecue place that burned down like 4 times when I was a kid, right?
No.
Okay, there was a barbecue place that burned down like every 2 years, and I want to say it was Luther's Barbecue at Katy, Texas. If they're still in business, I would be not surprised, but I want to say it was Luther's. I'm not sure if it's connected to the chain at all, but this was an 80s, 90s place, and they burned down like 4 or 5 times, and every time it burned down, they thought it was arson, but it was just a grease fire again. Every time it was a grease fire in the smoker that burned the place down. And then every time he said he was going to rebuild, and he did. But the only consistent thing between all of those fucking places was he still had the VHS of Star Trek The Next Generation, the whole set. And they would all be put in one at a time by the waitstaff. So The Next Generation was always on. That place burned down like 8 times. It was amazing.
Yeah, the Marines are well known for using interceptor body armor in Woodland that late.
I'm just gonna say this: when it comes down
Water
to
break.
Yes, thank you. Otherwise, I would have perished.
Time for a floor nap, Snake. You've done good.
The worm is still spreading, and it's not stopping at GW. Is it removing the other clones?
A farewell to arms.
Wait, I don't believe.
See all those arm robots broke. A
Yeah.
farewell to arms. I made a joke.
Oh no, Snake, we broke the whole world.
Oh no, Snake! It's back to the 1890s. Snake, we turned off the internet. Now everyone has to talk to each other. Snake, we deleted Wikipedia. How will people know things now? Snake, we fixed Hearts of Iron 4. It's not arbitrary anymore.
You know, that would be an
Snake
interesting one. If the internet just shut off, we would lose a lot of the information we've gained in the last like 30 years since they stopped printing encyclopedias.
Let me tell you this much. If the internet shut off, here's what I would do. I would take out an ad in every paper in the Western Hemisphere. This is We Are the Black Pants Legion. And then I would start a newsletter, and I would just start mailing people shit posts and memes once a month. I would become an analog provider of shit postery. I'd be like, hey, sorry the internet's broken, but here's some memes me and the boys came up with. And, well, here's the latest Tex Talks Battletech on VHS. Enjoy. See you in 6 months, and hope the internet comes back someday, and we remember not to be dumbasses with it.
Yep. The BPL periodical.
Why not just do it now? Well, it's a question of time and money. And I'm not saying money as in I have to turn a profit, but I would have to try to figure a way to make it at least pay for itself.
Yeah, otherwise it would be a hemorrhage.
Exactly. So
there's a lot of people who tried to start up weird niche little magazines, and they got 2 issues in and ran out of money.
here's what I think would be hilarious is to make a limited run of shit that is just insane. Like, what if I put an episode of the podcast on a golden record? And I'm like, well, there's one. There's one of one. There's a golden record of the BPL podcast. Now, it did cost $7,000, but if you recoup your expenses and then all the profits to charity, that would be a cursed thing to have. Someone's voice in gold.
Yeah.
God, that sounds like something out of necromancy, doesn't it? I've put their voice on a pure metal. Yeah, scratch that. No creepy metal records. We're not doing that. Yeah, I could write a newsletter. The newsletter would probably start with things I don't like, comma. Here's a few stores I found online that seem not shit for the moment, comma. And here's an idea I have, or 2, or 7, you know, just a few things.
Give away the Atlas's shareware so that people will buy the full TTB set.
Oh God, mail fraud! As Hamster Rat says. Zip Winchester presents. You know, I'm gonna say this: if you really need to find time to put another game together for that team once Traveler wraps up.
Yeah.
You know that team would be great.
Yes.
Yes. You just need to put them on something a little more freeform, and then I would say just absolutely put that on WBPL 76 or record it for the podcast or whatever. But I would love to get a chance to do Zip Winchester again.
Yeah, no, I intend to revisit those characters because that went really well. You guys didn't solve the scenario, but it went really well.
We didn't die. Justice was served.
Yeah, you didn't die. You killed one of them, right?
Justice was served.
Yeah.
Justice was served. The mail fraud was I prevented further mail fraud from those individuals.
You did. So she's committed suicide, and it makes Otacon sad because he only likes chicks that are already dead.
Talk about a weird niche kink, huh?
Yeah.
You know, like, again, fuck Otacon. What a terrible character. I'm glad that we get to slam the book on all of them, you know, like repeatedly, really hard. I love how this game also has like 12 endings, because Kojima saw the end of Return of the King and was like, that's how you end a story, by awkwardly dragging it out for 47 pages.
Yes, I would like to save the game, please. Alright, but that's not the end of the game.
No, of course not. But wait, there's more.
Yeah, Otacon's not as bad as Huey. Good fucking God, Huey.
Snake, wait here.
Oh, the helicopters work again. Otacon didn't drag us out onto the deck. How are we out here?
I'm gonna tell you this much: if you had to rely on Otacon to save you, you are in trouble.
We've got a Valley Girl yelling over the PA for people to stop fighting. And here he is.
Snake dies of exposure. The end.
The man, the myth, the legend.
The man, the myth, the legume. I wonder how many people in the Ox would want to fight in Nebulous. We're trying to think about a tournament. Wondering to know if you guys would.
Why are we on the top of the sail?
Listen, they put him up there because he just wanted to air out. They were like, you smell like a shoe. You've been in the fucking microwave. You smell like old burnt bacon and just nasty. So they're leaving him to air out on the sail. Also, why is the sail that big? How big does that periscope need to fucking be?
Yeah.
Hello, give me a periscope the size of a telephone pole and a half. Low observable? No, thank you. I want people to think it's an offshore platform driving around.
Yeah. So, in this cutscene, we learn that this isn't actually Liquid. This is actually Ocelot, who's pretending to be Liquid because he had Liquid's arm grafted onto him. And he used nanomachines to let a copy of Liquid's persona take over his body occasionally, to trick everybody into thinking he was Liquid. He also was tricking the Patriots by saying he was their double agent, but he was actually a triple agent against them for Big Boss, who was dead but isn't actually dead, as we're going to find out in the final cutscene of this game. This is all about the struggle for the soul of the world and trying to free it from the control of the Patriots, who were formed by Major Zero, the quirky mini-boss squad from Metal Gear Solid 3. The quirky backup support squad from Metal Gear Solid 3. So they've created satellite control of the entire world. They called it the Patriots, which is named after a Mensa-style group from the early 1900s.
Listen, when you say group from the early 1900s that are selective and they're like, oh, it's like a Mensa-style group. I'm like, no, bullshit. It's going to be like the Thule Society. Where
Okay,
like,
yes.
If I find the Spear of Longinus, I will be able to cast the fortunes of the German state for 1,000. And you're like, no, you won't. You don't even know what it looks like.
No, it was 110%. It was that kind of group. But they were all dead before the events of the third game. So they just took their name and used it as, a red herring for anybody trying to find them, as they created this computer control to make sure that the world never went off the rails again. The entirety of the Metal Gear Solid series, it turns out, is about an ideological disagreement between Big Boss and Major Zero over how to interpret the will of the boss, the lady that we beat to shit in a flower field, when she said, I don't want soldiers to be pawns of the government anymore.
Yeah.
Big Boss decided that meant soldiers shouldn't work for government, so he created mercenary units and tried to free the world from governments, but instead create one?
Right.
Whereas
He's
Zero
like, a
thought,
non-governmental state that performs the same role as the government is also a
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you just solved a problem of control to solve a problem of control. No.
yeah.
fail.
So that's
But it's on oil platforms, and I do karate to people and steal them with balloons.
yeah. So that's interpretation one. Zero's interpretation is they won't be pawns of the government because I will control all the governments.
Yeah, that's
is
a great idea.
Also a bad way to go about it.
Yeah,
And
let's add a.
oh
let's
god,
add
I
another layer
love
to the
that.
ladder.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have two
Geriatric
very-
men.
You have two guys in great shape for their age. Right? Really in great shape for their age. But just imagine if you went to the gym and you saw two people who were like in their prime when the Chevette came out, right?
Fighting,
these two
sparring
people-
this intensely.
And they're throwing down, doing WWE shit. And you know that in between them punching each other, all their joints moving around.
Yeah, it just sounds like
someone
Velcro
making
ripping.
popcorn. Yeah, it just sounds like Velcro ripping and popcorn. And it just smells like... It smells like Tiger Balm or Bengay. Like, really strong. Like, just really, really strong. And then, like, Aqua Velva.
Yeah, he healed Snake. Well, actually, he pumped him full of a bunch of adrenaline so that they could fight. Because why would Liquid and Solid appear in the same game if not to fight each other?
And that's fine. It's like...
Even
give
though
me a
Liquid has won, we just did his final bidding. You know, like he's won. This is his end game scenario. He's accomplished everything he set out to do. The world is free from Zero now. So in the Japanese version of the game, there's like this whole binary return 1 to 0 thing that doesn't translate well, so it mostly gets ignored in the English version. That guy, he's like 95 at a minimum now. Like, he was in his early 30s in 64.
Right. I mean, this is kind of also worrying. I mean, because if you had somebody who is 90 who is very active, like let's say somebody is a race car driver.
Yeah.
Just a race car driver and they're 90. You don't go, oh my god, they must be really good. You're like, oh my god, please don't let them on the track with other people. Like,
Yeah,
that's your
exactly.
normal reaction. Like, if you heard someone, if you were going under for brain surgery,
And a
they said
90-year-old walks in.
Your surgeon is 95 years old.
He's
If
been
they
doing this
said
since
that,
the 30s.
He has been doing this since the 30s, and he was in his prime when Khrushchev fell out of power. If they said that about your brain surgeon right before they put you under, like, is that a reassuring feeling, or you're like, oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah. Oh, look. It's Metal Gear Solid 1 health bars. Like, if a 90-year-old man were still that ripped, he would flex his muscles and his skin would tear.
Troublemint says they really just both injected LSD and they're just lying there thinking about all this as like seagulls peck them. They're like, I just punched you in the mouth. And the other guy's like about to fall off the edge on his own and he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is people just punching the air and screaming. Like, one of them right now is punching the shit out of that periscope with their fists. Like,
Well-
Snake is kicking a seagull in the air, and he's like, I got you, Liquid!
Yeah. And Liquid's like laying on the deck, just like feebly moving a couple of limbs, like, that was a great spin kick.
He's saying that as he's, like, watching his hand. He's just
Yeah.
staring at his own hand. He's like, I got you, Snake. Okay, Kayada Camera, they subscribed for 12 months. Thank you.
Oh,
and
God.
They said, and we are closing to the end of the AARP title fight. Round 1, bag of bones, really big when Beria was still in charge of the Soviet Union. We have the man with the metal arm and wants to be a cowboy. We have Revolver Liquid Ocelot. And on the left-hand side, we have the man with the mustache, the man with a plan, not Lee Van Cleef, but pretending to be, but with a far worse back and lamer friends. It is Solid Snake. And, yeah, they're just mirroring each other.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've seen boxing matches like that, where the round starts, neither of them will advance. They just
usually
shuffle
about 10
around.
seconds. Usually about 10 seconds into that, someone starts yelling, fix.
Oh,
Boxing matches are not nice with any pauses.
no, they're
You know
not.
this. Like, if you pause, like, if you take a breath to not beat someone's to death, they will go, Vex! And you're like,
No, I'm fighting for my fucking life up here.
yeah, you're like, you'll be fighting to stay alive, and they'll be like, you're not trying.
Yeah. So yeah, this is actually kind of a nice little throwback that it goes through each of the eras and it does the fighting moves from each of them. Because these are all Metal Gear Solid, you know, combos that I'm doing here.
Well, since this is the very end, we have 2 minutes to 2:04.
Oh
See what
no!
happens. Let's see if it's good to us. Let's see if it's good to us. If we all are really nice and we believe, and we all flap our arms together, maybe we will fly our way to a better plot and away from this game. I hate to say it, but Electric 6 just changed. As soon as you got on top of him, it started playing I Want to Take You to the Gay Bar. And, you know?
See,
Yeah.
you know, I think Something Wrong With Us is a really good Electric Six song that nobody knows.
What?
There's Something Very Wrong With Us. That's the name of it. As is Down at McDonald's. It's about a bar fight in a McDonald's parking lot.
Oh, that's delightful. Here's what I think you need to do, is you need to just beat them to death as he stands there, you know, because he's got khaki pants, right?
Uh-huh.
So if someone's got khaki pants
Well, I
and
think
they're in a
they're-
fight with me,
I think they're khaki pinstripes.
I understand that. They're fancy. Now, if I see someone with khaki pants and we're getting in a fight, guess what I'm doing to those pants? I'm ruining them.
Yeah.
I'm going to hook both of my hands in those pockets, and I'm going to tear the front out of those pants, because if I lose that fight, I don't care if I lose the fight. He's not walking away from there with a full set of pants.
Well,
Because
not only that, just
regardless-
yank him down.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just rip his pants, and no matter what, he's like, he's gonna have to explain to whoever shows up. They're like, why are your pants torn in the front? Or why did someone tear the ass out of your pants? He's not gonna be able to explain that one, even if he wins. All right, stand by.
Reconnected. Are we back yet?
I think we're getting there. But I'm also gonna say this, like, when it comes down to this choice of music, I could have just put, like, Holding Out for a Hero and crank this up.
Oh, that's a wonderful song for final boss fight.
I would have cranked that, but the Japanese version. There's a Japanese version of it. It's actually really good.
Yeah, I would have gone with Fly Me to the Moon, but the really smooth jazz one.
No, I would have done Holding Out for a Hero by Miki Asakura. And I would have done that to this. And I would have made them both fight and just for no reason have feathers go by. You know.
It's like watching two raisins beat the shit out of each other.
Look, if you want to hear what I'm hearing in my head, just type in Holding Out for a Hero, Miki, Miki, Asakura, Asakura, and then cue it up to this. You'll see what I mean. It fits in a sad way. It's really good.
Richard Cheese, Down with the Sickness. That's a great one. Yeah. Yeah, man, I've been there. You know, you have a really, really tough leg day, and you can't do anything but be in that position. It sucks.
You know, that's what's weird is he does that, but all those ladies, you know, all those ladies that could jump 3 stories, they never sit around like that. You know, he has to lead by example. If you're gonna have an army of like women warriors that can like jump 3 stories, you can't be sitting around in your like pinstripes and being like, my feet hurty.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be in charge for long.
I would have taken back everything they said if he did all the exact same sexy poses that they did. If we got the gratuitous ass and chest shots.
Well, you kind of have that with Snake the whole game, so I mean, you can't say it's not there.
The people fight.
It's not front and center like it was, though.
They will know the fullness of life.
I like his fingerless gloves. Yeah, he's very much a fingerless gloves kind of guy.
You know, it's the little things, isn't it?
Yeah. The
So
boss's
here's what I
will
would
is
do.
complete. Oh wait.
You know what? You know what my end line would be.
What?
You don't seem to appreciate the gravity of the situation as I tossed him off the sail. If he survives like an 8-story fall on Turbo Submarine Optimus Prime Mark 7 or whatever this is, then I'm pretty sure I could fit him in one of those hydraulic door hinges. And I've
just
played enough
slowly
Space Station
close the
13.
door? Yeah.
I've played enough Space Station 13 to know what to do with the door.
I am Liquid's doppelganger.
Wouldn't it be funny if he just mimicked him back, imitating him before he died?
I know you are, but what am I?
The only thing that would make this scene any worse is if that little girl showed up right now to serve those eggs she had cooked, and then the
Just
game ended.
drops
right
him
then.
on his face.
Yeah, and he dies. Wow, he did that thing. I
Yeah.
would.
Okay,
would
there
have
we go.
him-
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how people die.
I would have had him die making the ocelot howl.
Oh yeah. The final.
I would have had him die going meow
And then they fell in love on the battlefield.
again.
Yeah. No, this is supposed to be Snake is sad because this is the loss of like a father figure, but not really.
Hey, look, the
Hitler
helicopter
death from
back.
Jojo Rabbit. Yeah, that's where they got the idea.
Sonny's
Then Ocelot turned into a cat and ran away.
but left the
That would fit perfectly with what we've seen so far. It's Ocelot turns into like a ghost cat and explodes into feathers.
Yeah, as he says his name one last time.
What do
He
we
goes,
do with all these
"Ocelot."
frog ladies?
electricity.
I guess. I mean, they have really strong legs,
Yeah.
so I guess you could use them to push shopping carts. I mean, that's a job. They could be cart wranglers.
There's going to be a lot
You
more
know?
Christy Brinkley's here in a couple weeks.
I was gonna say, like, we could probably do pretty good at the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Because they're all leg. So skiing, that's ours now. Skating, that's ours. Definitely speed skating.
Yeah.
Triple jump or high jump, fuck yeah, that's ours. That's definitely ours. We got a lot of sports we got now with those commando ladies, and there's a lot of
like
them.
discus
so-
toss, probably.
Yeah, like shit. America comes out on top in this
I
one.
bet
We
they'd be
get,
good
like, an
hockey
Olympic
goons.
team. We have a hockey team again. Holy shit. We come out on top. Women's hockey's gonna take the world. Holy shit.
Wondered if we did the right thing.
This is a great ending. Why can't we write this like the aftermath?
Now Snake gets to come down from the longest 5-hour drug high.
Then you should like add an ending.
Yeah,
scene
women's
where you show all
kickboxing.
those- Yeah, add an ending scene where you see all those ladies, and it's like they formed a roller derby team in Kansas City. That would make me happy. You know what I mean?
They call themselves
Like-
the long-legged frogs.
They call themselves Team Frog, and they're a roller derby team in Kansas City. They also run a charity outreach for roller derby and roller derby activities.
It's an outreach for survivors of cults.
Yeah, like I think that would be nice. I'd write something like that.
Sometimes they
Like, then-
turn into ghosts. Yeah, do they still turn into ghosts when they die?
That would be terrible.
Like, are they
in
gonna
8
live
years.
80 years? You know, all
Yeah,
their
and
kids
then-
are around their bed, and then they just like scream and turn into a ghost in front of them.
Oh my god, that's terrible. And the government's like, sorry. We should have told you about their nanomachine sickness.
Yeah. It's a weird looking C5
Yeah, don't
Galaxy.
forget the back arch as they die.
Oh yeah, everybody knows.
Grandma does the back arch and just starts screaming.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. And then the ghost erupts out of Grandma. And then Stryker has to show up with the Ghostbusters thing, and he's like $87.50.
Yeah.
That's the cost.
Yeah. Bullet's earrings, and she is wearing a pistol around her dress to her own wedding.
First of all, if you're gonna wear a pistol to your wedding, wear a good one.
Yeah,
not
make
that
it a
piece of
classy
shit.
one.
Make it like if you ever
Like,
need
Nickel-plated
just-
PPK.
Yeah, don't go with like Uncle Mike's nylon. Don't go with Uncle Mike's nylon when it comes to holsters. Like, go get something that matches your shit. Like, everything else there is really nicely put together and obviously a deliberate choice. Why would you then, go with the cheapest drop leg holster? That is so sad.
Okay, but they're still round chambered, right? You remove the magazine. It just means you don't get a follow-up.
Going to walk me down the aisle.
She's like, remember that time I was shot 12 times a minute ago?
Oh, I'm still mad.
Wasn't that cool? Anyways.
No, she's wearing one of the bullet earrings.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Got a chance to win me over.
Yeah, so she's angry because he's her dad or her uncle. The games call her both. And he abandoned her to go date Jack's girlfriend, whom Jack the ninja had a kid with, despite his robot parts. Which very clearly cover, that part of his anatomy. So that was all a ploy to protect the kid from the Patriots, but they couldn't tell anyone, including her, so she's just been pissed off at him for like 15 years, and that's why she just pulled a gun on him and wouldn't talk to him at the beginning of the game, and that's why this is supposed to be emotional, is they've just made up.
She has a tiara.
He looks kind of
she's
like
winning.
Dolph Lundgren.
She has a tiara. She has a tiara like she won an award. Like she's winning a science award. Like they're like, you are the smartest scientist. Look, all these people survived that were in the game too. Remember them?
We're
They
having
had background.
Oh, good lord. That is
What
a
if
prom tux. Jesus fuck.
I would not wear white. If I was him, I would wear dark colors, and I would not wear white for that guy.
Yeah.
Because he has an issue of like getting nervous. And I'm not trying to say that IBS has crippled his life, but it certainly is shit in the bed.
Meryl knows that the Navy's got other uniforms besides that one, right? Like
somebody had said in the review, like, oh, this man's really brave marrying this really tough, strong lady. And I was like, no, that guy's really brave wearing white pants on his wedding day after shitting himself on command for Kojima's enjoyment for 4 games before this.
Yeah, no, that's Mohawk dude, yeah.
Let's all send this new team on their first mission.
Innuendo.
That man needs brown tweed.
Go on. Do it.
Listen, man, he looks really angry. You better kiss her.
Is this guy gonna like force them to kiss with like brain powers? Like, why is he looking so sinister? What would be great is if they did the real thing that APC would do, which is when he
roll
came
over.
to a stop. It just rolled over and everyone inside of it died instantly.
Yeah.
A shower of flowers, compliments of Drebin.
In real life, if you put flowers into an air cannon like that, you just like blind everybody at the wedding.
You blind everyone at the wedding and then you repel a bunch of dead birds at them.
Also,
Where
where did that kid and like crops come from? They weren't
Don't
there
worry
a
about
second
it.
ago.
Kojima writes things into scenes in much the same way that I find things in my pockets. I go, oh, that's new.
Oh, hey, yeah, a bunch of wine. That's what the monkey needs. Diaper
You know,
monkey
the
needs.
monkey's moved. He's moved on up. He's moved on up in the world.
It would be spitting pedals for the whole reception. Yeah, like there would just be a wet plop noise as everybody gets hit with just pulverized flower and stem. Water break.
Yeah. I
Well, she gave the deagle to her father, uncle.
Uncle Dad.
Yeah, she gave her deagle to Uncle Dad, but she's still wearing the holster for some reason.
Oh wow, the monkey gets married next. I'm sorry, Navy lady. Now you're married to your job. Just like everyone else.
Otacon's like, I'm forever alone.
The problem with Otacon is he dresses like a Bond villain, but he has the mentality of like a startled parrot.
Yeah. Your fucking daughter's wedding. Daughter-niece's wedding. Campbell, you couldn't change suits? The same suit you were in at the start of the fucking shit movie.
He came to me in the day of my daughter's wedding.
He didn't even change fucking ties.
Man, that guy's lame. Fuck him. Like, if you go to a wedding and your wedding is held at the tail end of a plane, and
Yeah,
some
on
guy
a
drives
runway.
up with like, yeah, and some guy has to drive up with an APC to blast flowers and like a monkey at you or whatever.
The four
Like,
people that showed up.
It's a bad wedding.
Yeah.
Like if you have a wedding and the only people who show up are people who you shared a brief violent period of your life with and a guy with a monkey and some champagne, you've done poorly.
Yeah, there we go. There's his Ken doll body.
You know, I love that they wrote this character in there and they wrote enough.
Oh, that
dialogue.
kid
I
looks
mean,
exactly like him.
that kid looks exactly like a real person. That is what normal human people look like,
Yeah.
as you know.
Did hair used to be blonde before? Like in the last
Don't worry.
game?
Look, they just decided to make the child an anime antagonist or like protagonist. You know what I mean? Like that's just what they decided.
They should have given Johnny the brown suit. Exactly. What is that EKG reading? Who the fuck knows? It's probably reading fucking Bluetooth sensors in his arms.
Who knows? He's having a sulk. As you know, when you're in a hospital, they always give you a
Right,
large pack
you
of
owe
Roman.
child support.
Yeah. I love how his kid is dressed like a Victorian child.
Like a Victorian
I mean? Like-
ghost.
He looks like a Victorian ghost. He just fades in. He's like, Papa, Papa, have you seen the tricycle, Papa? And he just fades out through the wall. He fades in through the wall. Papa, will we have enough coal this winter? And he fades out again. It's mighty cold in the basement, Papa. Please don't make me make shoes. I have a terrible cough. Like, what is this kid? Why do you have a mirror of him? It's so creepy. I'm surprised the kid shows up in the reflection.
Damn it.
Look, I'm just gonna say
He's
this.
yours?
Like,
Really? You had to say that?
he's yours? Nuh-uh. That kid has troll hair. There's only one other person in this hospital that has anime hair. I wonder whose it is. Is it that guy? Probably. The kid is just like, Papa, I work in the boot blacking factory. I fell in the vats. Help me.
Roy pretended to be my husband.
Papa, I hope I find a golden ticket. Why is he dressed like that? Does he have buckles for his shoes? Do you think this kid walks to school and then has a belt around his books as he skips along? Do you think this kid has a backpack, or do you think he has a book belt?
Give the kid a
Do you
boy
think this-
comms test. Yeah.
Do you think this kid goes around with his friends and catches bullfrogs and lightning jars and, paints fences and gets into shenanigans? Do you think that perhaps he has a soapbox derby? Do you
Papa,
think perhaps he
Granddad
has a
showed
gang
me
of
what
his own?
pomade is. Oh, God. You think that kid is friends?
No.
Aren't you going to say hello?
That kid's expression says I get beat up daily.
Again, why did people say this show was good? Like, I see this kid, and he looks like he should be from a serial about, like, I'd say about the 1930s. Yeah, that kid, that guy's the scariest thing you've seen. You spent 4 hours doing your hair. You are not a normal child.
Even has his own little mole ninja sword.
It's like, Father.
Kid's waiting for his PS2 game to start.
Awkwardly approach your father. Oh my God.
Hey, I know that I'm clearly like, oh, and that's a crash.
Well, it crashed on What a Wonderful Scene. Wow. Well, Dep's dying, and I'm just going to say this. Like, you see that kid there? Kojima spent hours and hours. Hello, Mr. Train. Thank you,
Now
Mr.
that
Train.
is an
Thank
album
you.
cover.
Yeah, this album cover, if you saw this album cover, the band would be kazoo, theremin, and snare drum. And the cover would be called Kinda Awkward.
Oh, good lord.
Kinda Awkward presents Wasted Potential.
I haven't earned my long pants yet.
Like, I just sit here. I'm looking at this scene, and I realize that every scene you see in here is the result of literally him sitting down and thinking about it, him writing it out, him then taking it to a writer's room, saying, this is what I want to do, them taking that then to animators, making animatics, and then matching that with computer animation and rigging,
Yeah.
and doing it through all these steps. And at no point he said, this seems superfluous. This seems like, at no point of any of those steps did anyone say, the 5 minutes of Ken doll hair conversation with creepy Victorian dead ghost child is not really important to the character's story. No one told him that. Everyone said, sounds good.
All right. So, yeah, they make up and it's touching and whatever, Oh, you really are my
Hold on.
dad.
Let's have some fun with chat, Deb, while we
Okay.
have this. Chat, you see this picture that is frozen on screen, right? I want all of you to caption it. Caption it as best you can. What is the child saying? Let's see. Let's see what they come up with.
We gotta,
Oh, I bet.
yeah, we gotta wait a second for
Uh-huh.
it to catch up.
Someday
I'll
I'll be a real boy. Oh,
disappointment of studying bullshit.
God. Father, the other orphan bastards won't play with me.
Now
is the time for my knife.
The sword makes it easier to crawl out of the TV, Dad.
The voices say I have to kill you now. Mom said it's my turn on the Xbox. Oh my God. These are all too good. I'm just saying that this is ultimately
Oh, good
Kojima.
Lord.
It's
Yeah.
it's these wasted half hours and this stuff. And I'm like, there was a game in there at one point, right?
Yeah, the gameplay itself isn't bad. I mean, the shooting was fine. The stealth mechanics
There was some
were...
story.
eh.
There was some story. I believe like we could probably sum up all the story of all the games in maybe like 10 paragraphs. right?
Yeah, if we took the A plot across the entire thing, then yeah, it really is not very much. It's just woven in with all these B plots, and
Yeah.
B through Z plots, really, which make it
Yeah,
so
and
convoluted.
a lot of the stuff is brought up and acted to be big, but it's kind of like a J.K. Rowling thing where later on they go, "Oh, well, this is what that meant." So he leaves stuff open and doesn't explain it, and then the next game says, "This is what this really was," and it's like you can't keep doing that because then you'll find yourself trapped in a corner that makes no sense.
Frito, he turned into a cyborg after the kid was conceived, but before it was born. And that's why
Yeah,
he
he had to.
abandoned
Yeah,
the kid. He's like, oh, I can't be this horrible half person for him, and also the Patriots are after me. And
yeah,
it was
it's kind of
F plot bullshit. Honestly, I
it's
liked it
really
better
weird.
when it was ambiguous whether his girlfriend really existed or was a figment of his imagination.
Yeah, that made a lot more sense to the artificial man angle.
Yeah.
Like it really did. Like it was like, oh wow, the artificial man. That was an interesting idea, but no, they didn't
Yeah,
do anything with
the
it.
end of Metal Gear Solid 2 is probably a pretty accurate, representation of what happens when a super soldier realizes he's a main character in a video game.
Yeah, he's like, uh-oh. Oh shit. Yeah, it's a good ending. So, do you want to try it again once more with feeling, or do you want to end it here?
We've been through everything we can play. It's cutscene to the end of here. I can
It's cutscene to the end.
yeah. So after this cutscene, we I think go back to the wedding where they're like, "Where's Snake at? He said he would be here." And Otacon's like, he had his own thing he had to do. And then it shows Snake in the cemetery, the graveyard, which is supposed to be Arlington, but there's a lot of flowers for some reason, which they really don't like in Arlington.
They do not.
And it looks really kind of run down, which Arlington is very meticulously kept.
You understand that Thorax is saying, paint me a picture. So while we were sitting here, he's probably going to start writing or recording this and then animating it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
So Snake,
right.
he draws himself up to what Kojima thinks attention looks like. And he very slowly raises his right arm in a crisp salute, and it pans around to show that he's saluting, I believe, Gray Fox's grave from the first game.
It's a grave.
They
put all the secret people in an area.
Yeah. So it's Gray Fox's grave, Frank Yeager, and he's like, "You were a good friend to me," but he doesn't actually say that line. And you can see that a couple graves away is the grave that Big Boss saluted at the end of the third game, the true patriot for the boss.
Again, all of them in the same area. They're
just
area.
all right together. They like to keep all the classified shit together so that it's better for espionage agents to see who can visit those areas. And then Big Boss wanders up and he's dressed in a giant brown trench coat with like fucking paladin shoulders. And he's like, I'm actually alive. The body you burned was solid as Snake from Metal Gear Solid 2. It wasn't me. That's why the face was missing. They used pieces of him to rebuild me. And Solid Snake's like, you're a piece of shit. You know that, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm kind of aware. And then he dies of Fox died. And he goes like, ugh, and falls over dead. Pretty much the exact same way that Liquid did.
Well, he just shows up dead. He's just like, aha, I was me and dead.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Yeah.
And then he doesn't show up alone though. Before he dies, he wheels Zero, who is like, he looks like Penguin from one of the Keaton Batman films. That was Keaton, right? Or was that in the Kilmer one?
Now I'm lost. So the Penguin.
Yeah. Zero is so old. He's the only person that actually looks his age. He's like 120 at this point. He's comatose. He's in a wheelchair. He's not responsive. His eyes are milky. And Big Boss is like, we have to return 1 to 0. And he like kills him. And then he dies himself with Fox die and like collapses against a gravestone and does the arched back thing. And I'm not making any of this up. This is a fairly accurate retelling of what happens. You can go
So-
find it on YouTube if you don't believe me.
Right, so the old man dies, and then the other guy who's like, I have killed the old man now, and then he does the archvac and dies. All these people are dying in Arlington in one day.
Yeah, and you know,
Alright.
the old guard, they
no
don't
one says anything.
they don't care about it, you know, they're not keeping
No one says
track.
anything in Arlington if you just show up with an old man and he dies.
And then, you know, it's kind of ambiguous whether Snake dies at the end or not, because he had his gun in his mouth after he did the salute thing. It's the same scene from the intro animatic where he slowly puts a gun in his mouth. But Big Boss stops him from committing suicide and tells him, "You still have a few months, live your life." Like, okay, I guess.
Go to
Go to Aruba.
Go to Aruba. Go to Action Park. You know, get on the bumper
I mean,
cars.
you're not gonna lessen your life anymore if you know you wind up dying on one of those. So just live your life.
Yeah, like go live dangerously. Like go to the most dangerous theme park you can.
And that's it. That's the ending.
Yeah, and then there's another game, but it takes place in the before times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
It
start
takes-
in 2 weeks on Metal Gear Solid 5. That's gonna be a trip.
That is gonna be a fucking trip, and we're gonna have to find some music.
We are. Well, do we want to do
Don't
5
worry.
next, or do we want to do Peace Walker?
I have never played through all of Peace Walker, and I'm fine with it. But I'm saying I've got music for 5.
Well, I think we're gonna have to go straight into 5 because I just remembered that Peace Walker is gonna be emulated too, and I don't think it's gonna work very well.
You know, I'm gonna say this: if we do 5, we'll find some sweet, sweet music. It'll be really nice. You know, we'll both enjoy ourselves, and we'll just have memes. And at a certain point, because the game really doesn't have an ending per se, we'll just agree at a certain point and say this is done, right?
Yeah. Nurimtia 49.
Such sweet-
How many
I
of
have-
these games are there now?
Listen, I have such sweet music. I've got
Metal
Bar Bar Bar
Gear,
Ann. I've got
Gear 2,
like the helicopter
Solid
digs. What you don't
Snakes.
understand is the helicopter in Metal Gear Solid 5 will play any music you put into that little folder, and it will play it over the
Solid
loudspeakers
5,
when it
Metal Gear
attacks.
Solid
So I can make the enemy listen to Bar 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 Ann for airstrikes
Gear Acid.
forever. I can make them listen to the Long Danube.
There's 11 games, I think, if you count things like
That's-
Twin Snakes and
that's
Metal
too
Gear
many.
Acid. We're not
That
doing
is
all
too
those.
many.
We're just doing
That
mainline.
is-
Oh,
no.
and Revengeance makes 12 because it's in the same universe. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5. We got to do Metal Gear 5 Part 1, the $30 demo disc, and then we can do Metal Gear 5 Part 2. Which I never played the demo disc. I never played Act 1. You know.
Don't worry, we'll make it fine. It will be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it.
It'll be okay. We'll just find some very nice music. I'm not worried.
This
You're
kid
not
sucks
worried.
at seppuku. God damn it.
Oh, God. We've
Since you've done a lot of Kojima stuff, any chance of Death Stranding? I don't know. We'll see where we go. I haven't touched
yeah,
it.
we'll see.
Um,
I have no experience with it. I have no idea what it is.
Metal Gear Solid
I-
5 is the opposite of all these games. He, like a petulant child, was like, fine, you say my cutscenes are too long? I'm gonna forget to put in a plot.
Yeah, he imagine if in Tex Talks Battletech, imagine if like when people had said the Warhammer was too long because they didn't appreciate or like how I conveyed the Beware the Baron lesson, which could have been its own video. Like if I had said, well, next time around I'll have a 6-hour Tex Talks Battletech, a lot of people would say, wow, that's insane. That's what Kojima has done every time anyone told him anything. Was they were like, that cutscene shouldn't be 5 minutes long, and he's like, it should be 45 minutes long.
Yes.
It should be an episode of Downton Abbey, but with no characters you can remember and no line of dialogue that's memorable.
Yeah, so on Metal Gear Solid 5, I am going to say this, is we are going to do the video game review playthrough. We are not doing all of the fucking side missions. You know, repeat extraction number 8, so you can get an extra tank. We don't have the time. That would go to 150 hours. Easy. So we're gonna do main missions. We're going to do a couple of the side missions, and then we are going to fuck around and steal people. But yeah, oh, because that was the interesting thing about 5. Like all the video game reviews are like, it's a really tight game. You know, it's over in a good amount of time. This and that, and you're sitting looking like, did they play the same fucking game I did?
No, I don't think they did.
Well, they
Also,
did,
look,
but they only had 12 hours to play it, so they did all of the main missions. They're like, yeah, that made sense.
well, okay, that's fine. But here's what I'm going to do. We're going to steal everything with balloons. That's
Yeah.
going to be our playthrough. Also, I realize anyone tuning in right now is going to be like, what the fuck? There's this frozen Victorian kid.
Yeah, if
we
you
got
guys
some
are
good
tuning
shitposts,
in, sorry, the game crashed. We're in the final cutscenes, multiple of the game. So if you're just coming in, I guess watch the VOD.
Yeah,
Sorry
just
about
watch
that.
the VOD as we stop and dissect this.
It's
But
pretty
yeah.
painful experience all around. So
I sent you a DM,
Okay.
something that Green put together that I think we could probably end on if you wanted.
oh god, am I competent enough to set that up on OBS?
You know what? Let's not worry about that. That'll be fine.
Does 5 have the hump crawl? It does not have the hump crawl. Sorry.
Yeah, I think also they were like, we can't do like 85 gratuitous scenes where women die in horrible ways, and he's like, damn, I'm gonna quit. But yeah, there's at any rate, next week we'll be back with some madness. We'll try whatever we want. We'll try different things. But coming up next is Cooking on the Rim.
yeah.
So if you want to see that, it's gonna be there.
No, wrong display.
Don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine.
There we
Paper
go.
Mario text.
There you
I
go.
wish. There we go.
Courtesy of Mr.
Excellent.
Green.
Shit post and quickly. Also in the Ox, Mr. Thorax made another one that's really good. If you want to join the Ox, just go ahead and watch this. You just do ! Right? And then you just type in Discord, and bam, there's the auxiliary. And
Yeah.
you can click into that, join the Ox, and join the Black Pants Legion auxiliary, and have some fun. At any rate, I guess that's it for this time. Next up, Cooking on the Rim, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. That was fun to get through that game. Can't you tell? All right. See you guys.
Next up is even more fun.
Yeah.